Did you know, since 1985, Crime Stoppers has helped solve close to 8,000 crimes in New Brunswick? Crime Stoppers, 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477 or www.crimenb.ca.
Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. This is Wednesday, and this is What Matters Most. I'm your co-host. I'm actually your host, Heather Acker. Some people may not recognize me. I have darker hair. So if you watch the show regularly, I am still the Heather Acker. Our show tonight is about interesting people, events that may be happening in town, into the St. John and the surrounding area, and just really interesting people in general. I like to bring on some awareness to foundations and groups that, certainly deserve it. And if you know of any that are in the St. John area that we haven't had on TV yet, please let us know and I'll bring them on. So without any further ado, I'd like to say hello to a Jeff Daughtry. I've ran into this gentleman. He really loves our show, so thank you for watching. And get all your friends to watch What Matters Most. So I have my first guest with me, and this is Zoel Bro. Zoel Bro, how are you?
I'm well, and you?
I'm good. I'm very good.
Yeah.
So you are the executive director of L'Arche.
Of L'Arche in St. John, New Brunswick.
In St. John, New Brunswick.
Yes.
And can you elaborate a little bit about what L'Arche is?
But L'Arche is part of the International Federation, and we have around 150 homes, communities, we call them, around the world, in more than 40 countries around the world.
Wow,
and
40 countries.
It was founded by Jean Vanier, who died recently, and there was a lot of events even in St. John to honor this Canadian who passed away, who did a lot of impact in this world by really believing in the gift and the uniqueness of people with intellectual disability. He really invited people around the world to enter into a relationship with them and to share life and work. And this is what L'Arche is all about. It's about relationship with people with intellectual disability.
Right. Now, you said there's a home in St. John. That can you tell us about that?
In St. John, we're in the west side of St. John.
Yes.
And we have a home with 5 people and 3 assistants who live and share life with them, and others who come and support every day. And then we have a day program uptown on Prince William, where we work with arts. And we work with local artists. It could be painting, photographers. We work with the different partnership uptown.
Nice.
With always related with people with intellectual disability.
Okay. And Key Industries is
Key Industries is a partner
one?
because some of our people who come and spend some time with us in our day program are also member of Key Industry. One of our members, Stefan, who lived in our home for the last 14 years, he had been with Key Industries for so long, so only one day a week he come to us because Key Industries is like a place for him. So it's the routine and we try to be in partnership with other organizations because I think it's important to not be alone in the kind of work we do.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So why L'Arche? Why did you get involved?
That's a long story. I came to L'Arche 40 years ago.
We have 13 minutes.
But I think I was touched by, maybe I could start by saying when I was younger, I babysat a person who was intellectual disability.
Okay.
And I say probably that person was my first trainer.
Sure.
And when I heard about L'Arche, it went right to my heart about sharing life with them and creating community with them. So I went to L'Arche in Quebec. And then I moved to L'Arche in Vancouver, and I stayed there for 20 years.
20 years,
yeah.
Wow.
And over the years, I became involved with L'Arche Canada. Up to my last 6 years, I was working with L'Arche International.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a real kind of a family. And for me, people say, how can you stay with L'Arche for so long? It's not, I don't feel like always work. We do work. But it's about to be aware of this international reality would be hard for me. For example, when the earthquake happened in Haiti,
yes,
I was affected. I know people there. I know people that I share life with. I visited. I slept in their home, and they were impacted by either board members or friends. Everything that's been in the world, I feel like I've been connected with it. You know.
Yes, of course.
My last assignment with International was to go to Large Syria. I mean, last June. You know, there was an opening where it was safe to go, but for me, it was the relationship was important. For me to go and tell them and show them that I care. And I very believe in what, and they impressed me for this since they're in the war, what they do there.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, and when I was coming here to St. John, I said, "You're leaving International to be in St. John?" First of all, I'm happy to be in St. John, back to my province.
Yes, because you were born in Tracadie.
I was born in Tracadie, and my family is happy. You know, I have good contact with my family. But what I want to say is, like, to be large in St. John or in Syria or in Haiti, it's all the same. It's about believing in people.
Yes.
And being sensitive to the cry of the family who are often isolated because they have a child with a disability, often the lack of resources from government. So how to, and the major one for me is what's happening here on Prince William, is to show the talent and the gift of people in our society.
Nice.
You could come and see the artwork that's done by people that make people happy when they look at it. And so for me, that's what I would say, Large give me life in that way. After 40 years, I still love it.
Oh, fantastic. I love to see somebody take on their passion and live it, because you don't work a day in your life that way.
No,
right?
yeah.
So there's some images that are actually on the screen. If you could talk to that a little bit.
But there's Krista there who's working on her painting, and Krista would say she's a real talented artist, to the point that we're even dreaming of having our own art show.
Oh, fantastic.
It's amazing.
I would love to see
that. She loves
interior
interior design, so she does a lot of work with living room and setting and fireplace, and she's really a gifted artist. I would say.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of art on the walls. And this
and
is your location,
the group, this is on Prince William. And again, there's a lot of, I'm not an artist, but I bring them goodies when I come. I cook cookies to encourage them.
Oh, nice.
But every day there's 4 or 5 people, and because there's such a big group, like they could really do individual work with people and really help them to develop more their skill that they have.
Oh, fantastic. Well, how close are you to actually having your gallery opportunity? Do you think that's going to happen?
We're hoping this year. Every year there is. Every February we have an art show at the St. John Art Center. Every February. But this is a dream of individual for Christophe one day. Maybe I reveal the secret. But
well, only a few thousand people will hear it. It's all good. So your hope for L'Arche in the future, where do you want to see L'Arche go? I mean, you've been with it for so long. You know, what's your dream? How
before my retirement,
yes.
Today for me it's really it's such an opportunity that I was given to come back to New Brunswick. And I would say New Brunswick is probably the smallest community today of L'Arche in Canada that we have. We only have one home after 14 years that we're here. Yes. My hope that we will develop in St. John, that we have a project in Fredericton, and I really want to be working with them that we develop. And my hope is to say we're beside Nova Scotia. They have 4 communities in 4 different locations. So why not in New Brunswick? Why not Miramichi, Dalhousie? Right. Because the need is there. I get phone call. That's the hardest call for me, of parents, of mothers who are saying, I'm aging, and is there a place for my child? So for me, that need is real everywhere, and it's really New Brunswick.
That's heartbreaking.
Really. And our work, I hope that we could work with the government, with local partnership, and work with donors, that we could at least in the next couple of years, maybe 3-4 years, have a second home in St. John. That
would be fantastic. Yes. Now, if somebody wants to, say, in not necessarily St. John, but near St. John, maybe it's in St. Stephen or St. Andrews, wants to open up a home, can they contact you and you can walk them through that? Or how can they do that?
Yes, but the best way is to go and live the experience.
Live the experience,
because it's very hard to do it from a book.
Sure.
And I mean, it's possible, but a lot of the people who founded L'Arche before went to spend a year in L'Arche in Toronto or in Vancouver or overseas.
Yes.
So after that year of experience, they know that's the right thing to do, and then they start to develop in their locality. It doesn't have to be like that, but it's often like that.
Is that right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Montreal, how many homes do you have in Montreal?
In Montreal, we have 5 homes and
Wow.
2-day programs. And I was there for maybe 20 years in Montreal with the community, but then I was working for L'Arche Canada as a national, because in Canada we have 29 communities across the country.
My
So,
gosh.
mhm.
So who manages all those?
Well, we have no, I did. No, we have a national structure with a national board with a foundation, and we divided the country by region. I'm part of the Atlantic region here with Nova Scotia. We have a project in St. John's, Newfoundland.
Okay.
And then there's Quebec and Ontario and the West Coast. So there's each part of Canada, there's a team, because it's good to work with other people.
Of course,
So
yes.
St. John is with Nova Scotia and St. John, Newfoundland. We are a team in Atlantic.
Called the Atlantic team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully PI one day,
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. So when you have the large group, do you do things for your awareness? Do you have events that happen throughout the year?
Like this year, on this September, on the 14th of September, we have a celebration fundraising dinner at the curling club at north side of St. John.
Yeah.
And we are hoping to have at least 150 people to come, and we have art. Because of artists, we have gifts for auction,
Nice.
some artworks, and so that is what we do. We started that once a year. We do our art show at the St. John Art Gallery, and we try any opportunity to go and speak about L'Arche at different opportunity we have.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And how can somebody get in touch with you?
I don't have my office number, but I have my cell phone number.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Or the website.
website, L'Arche St. John.
Yes,
the
I think
website.
we put that up
Probably
on the
have that.
screen, so definitely there.
And the reason why we chose to have our day program on Prince William is that people could walk in and come and see us right on
Can
across
you do that? You just walk
Java
in?
Moose coffee shop and go and say hi and see the people at work. And that was a purpose, that we could show that we could show what are the gifts of our people here.
So how is that every day? There's
Every day,
people
5
there?
days a week.
And
Monday
you
to
can
Friday.
just come in and
Come
do what?
and knock in, and you want to volunteer to do some artwork with, we'll welcome you.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
And Facebook would be another way to get a hold of
We
you?
have a Facebook and the website. And,
Excellent.
yeah,
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. This has been very eye-opening, and the awareness to L'Arche. So thank you so much for being here as well.
Okay,
All
you're
right.
welcome.
Thank you so much for staying tuned, and please come back right after the break, and I'll have my next guest, Judith, from the Algonquin Hotel.
Support your local charities and win great prizes by playing bingo on Rogers TV.
We're all sons of liberty! If I'm sticking up arms, it was to put an end to this corrupt regime! They'll never succeed in getting rid of
I'm a
us!
patriot, but I'm against this armed insurrection. We must reply to bureaucrats who stifle us. We can thrive through education, political economy, and industry, not armed rebellious acts. Our two races can live side by side without one enslaving the other.
Jailed for such radical editorials, Etienne Perron kept his paper Le Canadien going for months, with a little help from his friends.
Votre journal, monsieur le directeur.
Merci.
Hold it.
A century later, the political ideas that had inspired Etienne Perron would reappear and transform Quebec in its quiet revolution.
So you want to tell me a secret?
I have a little something to share.
Inquisitive minds wonder.
Kelly, can we talk? I have nothing to say to you, Vicky.
Do I trust her now? Do you?
How long have you been in the business?
2 years, I can tell.
Come on, honey.
I'm not Satan. You can't say stuff like that.
You call me Captain.
We're not
friends. Whatever. What do I have to do? Take a lie detector test? Hold on for the ride.
We good?
Do you have information about a crime that has occurred or is about to occur? This information can help solve crimes, and tipsters always remain anonymous. Crime Stoppers, 1-800-222-TIPS or www.crimenb.ca.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. I'm now with my second guest for this evening of What Matters Most, and I'm your host, Heather Acker. And this is Judith from the Algonquin Resort. How are you?
I'm well, Heather. How are you?
I'm
excited
good.
to be here.
Thank you so much for coming up to St. John to be on our show today.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I'm really glad you are, because I know a lot about the Algonquin Resort.
Excellent.
Yes, I actually, back in my younger days, I actually went to school in St. Andrews, and the Algonquin happened to be one of our facilities that we used for the course. I believe it was called Hotel Management.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so it was quite an elaborate place to be able to go to school. That's for sure.
It's a big part of a lot of people's lives.
It is.
Yeah.
So let's hear your story on the Algonquin.
So I don't know if your viewers are familiar with the Algonquin. It is a resort that is operated year-round. We also operate and own a golf course.
Oh, yes.
We have 233 guest rooms, and that includes suites. We have 20,000 square feet of elegant meeting space.
Wow.
And that includes 3 large ballrooms, a spectacular outdoor pool, and of course, when the weather is not so great, we have an indoor pool that has a 4-story high slide. So it's the delight of young and old. That swimming pool, of course, is right next to our gym, which is operated 24 hours. We also have an Aveda spa. And it's just a delightful, it's one of my favorite places in the world. Even before I ever got involved with the Algonquin, I used to love to go there.
Oh, yeah.
It's our 130th birthday this year.
Oh, really?
Yep, opened our doors in 1899. But completely refurbished in 2015. So it really melds the traditional and the history with the modern amenities, like air conditioning, which we didn't have until 2015.
So is there any shag carpet left?
Nope. Nope, none of that.
Because I remember. There
Yeah,
used to be
I bet.
green shag carpet.
I bet.
Yes.
Yeah, so air conditioning, and the entire building is, Wi-Fi enabled, and it's just a great place to relax. Whether you're coming for a huge conference or a small board meeting or a romantic getaway or a family getaway or a wedding, it's the place to be. It's very relaxing. It's not uncommon to see guests who don't know each other interacting with each other, sitting around a communal table, playing board games in the lobby, playing outside. We've great fire pits outside where you can gather in the evenings. And then the best place to watch the sunset is on the rooftop garden. And the last thing I'm going to say about the ambiance is you just have to sit on the front porch and have a drink, like people have been doing for 130 years.
Yes.
I always think about that.
I know.
Yeah.
It's really interesting when you look back on the historical photos and you see people with the umbrellas, but they weren't called umbrellas, I believe, maybe they were, the parasols, and the big long dresses, and they're actually true to time. Like it's when you think about that, it's like, wow, like I'm experiencing the history, which is beautiful.
And long before there was social media or there was travel review or anything like that, word did spread around, and most definitely what you're describing, a lot of ladies met their gentlemen, in our hotels. What is today the Van Horn Ballroom was the casino at the time. They'd called it a casino, and it had billiards and a bowling alley and croquet, and while there was a separate entrance for the ladies and the men, there was certainly a lot of socialites that met there. In fact, just recently, and I don't know the gentleman's name and I don't know the family, but I know because it's something that took place at the hotel and my hotel colleagues were telling me about it. We had a gentleman who celebrated his wife's celebration of life, so she had just passed.
Okay.
And she was in her 80s, so had had lived a fairly long life, and he shared that he had met her at the casino, which is now the Van Horn Ballroom, on one of those social evenings, and that they had married with us. And so it really shows, how much we have a part of people's lives around
Absolutely.
here. Yeah.
Yes. I know that even today, even though I had that experience of being at the Algonquin so many days during my work as school, going now, it feels like a resort. It feels completely different.
Does it?
It feels like you're in somewhere that's very posh and beautiful, but it's just a stone's throw away, considering that you would go to places like Banff and Whistler. Our beautiful Algonquin, holds that pride as well.
1 hour away from St. John, an hour and a half from Fredericton, so it's a great, weekend getaway. And if you're not from the province, easy access to those airports as well.
Yeah.
And I understand what you're saying. I always feel like it's stepping back in time a little
Yes.
bit, because the town of St. Andrews, has changed very little.
Yes.
It's it's a charming town. It was founded by the Loyalists, and I don't know if you know this story. And the gentlemen and ladies who owned their homes in the United States, who felt that they wanted to remain loyal to the king, and so there are still on Water Street about half a dozen of those original homes that were floated across into Canada because they wanted to stay. Yeah.
Wow.
And the town, really, as I say, retains the history. You will notice if you're in St. Andrews that there are no billboards of any kind.
Right.
There is a Tim Horton, but it is in a building that reflects the architecture of St. Andrews.
Very smart, yes. And I noticed some of the historical homes have the plaques on
Yes.
the homes, so you can actually, it's almost like a self-guided tour. If you
Yes.
were to walk around, you could actually read those plaques and gain some history. So
Yes, and of course, the town is at the bottom of us. We're built on a hill
Yeah.
in St. Andrews on the Passamaquoddy Bay, and so Water Street in the downtown area is really just walking down. Now, coming back uphill is not always the same, but we have a shuttle where we would go and rescue our guests if they felt that they didn't want to
Sure.
make the walk back up again.
Oh, yes. Well, and where do your guests come from? Are they coming from all over the world? Or
They are coming very much from the border states and Canada, and certainly we have a lot of tours that come during the summertime from other areas. But who the guests are is they're really, the hotel is quite flexible in what it offers, and so whether you're a nature lover or you like the arts or you're just a big foodie, because we have fantastic cuisine, we have guests that come for all sorts of reasons. As I mentioned earlier, you're either coming for a conference, you're attending a wedding, it's a romantic getaway, it's a family getaway. A lot of pet owners come because we love pets. We embrace pets. We have loud dogs in our hotel rooms. We have two dogs at the hotel, Sydney and Bentley. There are two canine concierges, two black labs, who hang out in the lobby and are there to greet you when you come in oftentimes. And if you don't feel like you want to go venture out on your own, you can take one of the dogs
Is
for a
that
walk.
right?
So yes.
Oh, take one of the dogs for a walk.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
They
awesome.
love it.
And I'm sure there's lots of wild animals like the deer that are nearby
There
as well.
are a lot of deer. There are some deer around. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
We have about 5 minutes, so I want to make sure that we talk about this. Stephen King. Let's talk about Stephen King for a second, because I know this story, and I know it's a true story. So you go ahead and tell us a little bit about Stephen King.
Maybe. I hope I'm not going to dispel your story. Many people believe that The Shining, so the book
Yes.
that Stephen King wrote, and that was also in the movie with Jack Nicholson, many people believe that that story was based on the Algonquin Resort. In fact, it was not.
It was
I
not.
know, I'm so sorry.
You're crushing my dreams.
You could see where you would think that, though,
Yes.
because certainly in the years that the book came out, the Algonquin Resort was only open in the wintertime,
right.
and the exterior looks a little bit similar, and certainly the corridors on the 4th floor look very much the same. But it is actually based on a resort in the U.S. The name escapes me right now. I'm going to have to look for it
That's
in
okay.
case any of your viewers are asking. But it is not. It was not based. However, we certainly do have our resident spirits
Yes.
that guests guests have seen many, many times. In fact, one of the packages that we sell is called the paranormal package because
Is that
you're going to
right?
want to come and.
Is there a
Yes,
special room
want
that
to see
goes with that?
There are a couple of special rooms.
Is that right?
So there are several apparitions, if you will. I usually tell people when they ask me about ghosts, I ask them, well, if you'd like there to be ghosts, there is, and if you don't, there isn't, right?
right.
But the truth is, there have been many sightings.
Yes.
One of them, we imagine, must have been a bellman at the hotel at one time, because there have been many times when guests have been aided by a bellman, and when they turn around to thank him, he's no
gone.
longer there. We've even had some guests who've
Judith.
gone to the front desk to say, oh, I'd like you to thank this gentleman who helped us out, and there's no gentleman on staff that day, or
Is
something
that
like
right?
that. Yeah.
And this is just people just generally.
Even people who
Feeling
don't
that-
know the story are saying that.
Isn't
yeah.
that something?
And then we have one who must have worked somewhere in banquets, because this one likes to really poke around at poke fun at our employees, because she likes to move around the place settings and the cutlery at night. And so oftentimes when they come into the dining room, they will swear that things are not in the same place that they were the night before.
Isn't that something? Wow.
And one of the rooms in particular, I don't know if it was a bride who was left at the altar or if she left her groom, but there's been many reportings of people hearing crying in that
Right.
room. But friendly, go. They're just very comfortable. They don't want to leave us. It's a comfortable hotel.
Well,
I
it's a
must say.
beautiful hotel. Well, who would want to leave?
But very friendly. No disturbance to anyone. But we actually have a package that's coming up. I think October 26th, so in time for Halloween. It is called the Paranormal Spirits. And the package involves a night in one of those rooms for two, with breakfast, and then a pub crawl, so that you have different types of spirits in St. Andrews.
I like
and then
that.
you finish off the evening with a karaoke evening down in our pub. So
Oh, that's
we
so fun.
definitely try to look at that. And you don't have to take my word for it. If you come to our hotel, you can join on to our ghost tour stories any night. Our bellman will take you through.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, does the town still have a ghost story as well, like a ghost walk, or?
I believe they have a lady who, it's not done as much as it used to have been, but there
Okay.
is a lady who certainly can
Yeah.
organize that for events for you. Yes, I've been on it myself. It's very fun, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Well, I always try to tell people to definitely take in the historical side when you're traveling, and if you have the extra time, do those tours because they are fun for sure. So, what's the best way for people to reach you?
So algonquinresort.com, on the sales area, you can find my personal email there. We are also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, great photographs every day that some of our guests post, and ours as well. And I guess the only other thing that I have to remind everybody is to come to St. Andrews for the resort, but all the great activities as well, between Kingsbury Garden and whale watching, and so much.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us
Well, thank you. It was
this
a
evening,
pleasure.
Judith, and I will be down soon.
All right, then. I look forward
please,
to it.
Please stay tuned, and we'll have Katrina up next to talk about Prude St. John.
He has my eyes. He has his mother's cheekbones. He has her competitive nature. He has my weird sense of humor. He has her love of reading. He has my oxycodone.
Some things should never be passed down. Lock up or turn in your prescription drugs. Learn more at secureyourmeds.ca. A message from Drug Free Kids Canada.
We have a problem in London, Agent M.
Well, then I lose it!
Should we call it in?
Call it in? No, the paperwork is a nightmare.
Side view mirror.
If you could all just look right here.
Just try.
It's gonna be fun. We'll have fun with it.
More than half of tips reported through the Crime Stoppers program are now reported online. Information about unsolved crimes, local advisories, and how to report tips anonymously can be found at www.crimenb.ca.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. I'm now with my third guest for this evening on What Matters Most, and I'm your host, Heather Acker. I have Katrina here with Prude. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. It's really great to see you. I haven't seen you for a long time.
I know,
and
it's been
now
a
you're
minute.
working with Prude, and now
I
you can
am.
tell me all about Prude.
Yes.
So for people who are watching, they've probably heard of it, but can you really give a good explanation of what Prude is?
Yeah, so PRUDE stands for Pride of Race, Unity, and Dignity Through Education. We are a local charity organization, a not-for-profit here in St. John.
Okay.
And we work with newcomers. We basically advocate for diversity and inclusion, no matter cultural background, gender identity, religion, anything like that.
That's really widespread.
Yeah, very widespread, absolutely. But we do mostly work with newcomers to St. John.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been in the position for roughly
4 months, 3 to 4 months.
Yeah. But you're the public relations. So you're going out to advocate and get people aware of what Prude is, and. Is there an event coming up?
There is an event coming up, yeah. So we have our Diversity Champion Awards coming up in November. It's the 4th annual event for this. So this event basically aims to celebrate inclusive leaders in our community. Okay. So people that are really advocating for diversity in education here in St. John.
Excellent. So when you say inclusivity, so what does that mean? Does that mean that just they allow newcomers into their facility, or do they employ them? Like, how does that mean?
All of the above. yeah, pretty much thinking. All of the above. Yeah, people that fight for acceptance and inclusion in every sphere of our day-to-day lives. Right. These are people coming into this country and making it their home.
Right.
So, really helping them incorporate into St. John, something that gets us really excited.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
And so how long has it been around?
Prude has been around since 1981, actually.
Is that
yes,
right? That's a longer time than I was trying to guess in my mind. Yeah. And who started it?
That was Ralph Thomas, yeah. So he started it with the Black History Society. Yeah, he just recently won an honorary doctorate at UNB.
He did?
He did, yes.
Fantastic.
Yes, this May. So that's sort of where it started, where it began, and it's, taken off from there.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
I had Ralph Thomas on.
Oh,
we were
did you?
talking about
Okay.
Black History Month, and that was back a few months.
Yeah.
But what a really great speaker.
Oh,
my gosh.
Yeah,
very
wonderful.
passionate about what he does. So
yeah, it's wonderful to work alongside him every day. Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's
Yeah.
fantastic. He's got so much knowledge, too.
Oh, yeah, that history, it's just incredible.
It sure is. He actually has a book.
Okay,
and
yes.
he shared that with me.
Yeah.
So what kind of experiences are newcomers coming into? Like you see them often.
Yeah. So at Prude, so we have a variety of services at Prude. We have language and culture classes, computer and citizenship classes. We also do all of our events throughout the year. So like the Diversity Champion Awards, we also do Canadian Multiculturalism Day, Asian Heritage Month, Black History Month, all of that as well. And then there's my program, which is the Workplace Mentorship Program.
Oh, let's talk about that.
Yeah, so the Workplace Mentorship Program basically aims to pair up newcomers with a mentor in their field here in Canada, or here in St. John specifically.
Sure.
Just so that they can get some insight into how the field works here in Canada as opposed to back in their home country. And also to kind of get insight into specific skills, any sort of educational or degree requirements, certifications, and just get comfortable in Canadian workplace culture, which is very, very different from a lot of other places.
Sure.
So, yeah.
So are they shadowing a business, or are they kind of just sort of being employed by a business? How does that work?
So no, it's not employment. Yeah.
Okay.
So the mentorship program doesn't so much do employment. Shadowing could be a possibility depending on the mentor.
Okay.
But more often than not, it's really just a conversation.
Oh, okay.
So giving a bit of insight into that field.
Oh,
yeah.
that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose because I met a ton of newcomers to St. John.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are very much like, well, I had a business previously. I'm interested in starting a new business.
Yeah.
Who do I talk to?
Exactly.
And it's like, okay, well, who
Yeah.
can I connect that person to, right?
Yeah.
But so do you take applications for mentors, and how's that program working for you?
So it's working great. I don't take applications for mentors. I
Okay.
do meet with the potential mentees at first just to kind of get an idea of what their field is, what they're looking for, and then I go through my connections to see, okay, who's a great fit for this person? Who should they speak to start building up their network, to really get an idea of how to get started, again, in this field
Yes.
here in St. John.
Well, that's so true, because when you say, everybody has skills, and some have stronger skills than others,
Yeah.
but it is who you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
a lot of
it's
it
an old
is.
saying. It's about who
Exactly.
you know.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that to come across as like, well, you don't know that person, well, I don't know you.
No,
it's
no,
more about
definitely not.
who can help you
Yeah.
connect with with other people
Yeah,
in your
yeah.
industry.
And St. John is St. John has this really beautiful character about it. It's everyone's very helpful, and they want to introduce you to other people, and they want you to get involved in events and helping out around the city and that sort of thing. So really, just getting that kicking off point sometimes is really the leap that people need to get out there and get started.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there certain industries you're looking to open some doors that you can express a little bit of interest? Maybe somebody's watching that says, "Oh, well, gee, I could contact Katrina."
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the more difficult fields I've noticed is in engineering.
Oh, okay.
So engineers are very, very busy,
Sure.
especially this
They're
time of
supposed
year.
to be.
Yeah, yeah. But we see so many extremely educated, skilled professionals, 10, 12, 15 years in their fields, come into Canada and go, I have to start over.
Wow.
Which is a shame, right?
Yeah.
And engineering is one of the ones where it's like they have all of this experience and just don't know who to talk to, who to get involved with. So those are some of the people that I'm looking for right now.
Oh, okay. And what about, is there any others that you could say, well, we're a little lacking in this industry? Is there any food service ones, or is it food service is pretty open with?
Yeah, food service is pretty open.
Good.
Haven't had much interaction with those getting into food service and that kind of thing. But
Sure.
we're always looking for more mentors, more people to get involved with Prude. Really, anybody who's interested in helping out, that's who we want to talk to.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
do you take on volunteers?
We do, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
So how would somebody potentially watching this evening and saying, well, gee, I've got extra time on my hands, and I'd really like to make a difference
Yeah.
in someone's new life here to St. John,
Yeah.
Canada. Who would they go to see, or who would they talk to?
So pretty much all of us working at Prude they could speak to, so they can stop by the office.
And where are you located?
We are located at 165 Union Street on the 3rd floor.
165 Union. What's in front of that?
So that is the Typho building.
Oh,
third
yeah,
floor of the
on the
Typho.
corner.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So
Thank
right
you.
there. So can walk in anytime 9 to 4 or 9 to 4:30.
9 to 4:30.
So
Okay.
yeah, anytime walk on in or give us a call at 634-3088. Send an email, look at our
Yes.
website. We do have a volunteer application form on our website.
Oh, you do?
We do, yep. So that can be found on our website. But other than that, coming in and speaking to us is always great. We love to see people come through the doors.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
nice. And is there always people, how many people work in your office?
So right now, there are 6 permanent employees, and we have a
Okay.
couple of students working for us as well, and some volunteers as well with the front desk.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
So where do you want to see Prude go from here?
I would absolutely love to see Prude grow and expand, more than it is right now. Have people talking about Prude and, I don't know, just doing all of our events. I'd like to see all of our events continuing to grow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I know that the Diversity Championship Awards has grown
Yeah.
from the first couple
Yeah,
years.
absolutely.
Which is fantastic because it
Yeah.
shows the support from St.
Yes.
Johners as
Yeah.
well. So seeing that, is there other, you said there's other events throughout the year?
Yeah,
that
there
you can get
are.
involved with?
Yep, absolutely. So we do an event for International Women's Day. We do an event for Canadian Multiculturalism Day. That was June 27th,
Okay.
I believe. So that'll be happening next year as well. And like I said, events all month for Asian Heritage Month and Black History Month as well.
Right. Now there's a cultural festival coming up. You
There
guys getting
is.
involved with that? Or is-
I'm personally not involved with
Okay.
Culture Fest, but for anybody interested in getting involved with Culture Fest, Sherry McCauley can definitely speak with her. She works with us at Prude as well.
That's
so-
right.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, see, it's all connected.
All of it. Yeah.
And I love that because
Yeah.
it's always, you've got some support everywhere, and that's fantastic.
Yeah, and for me, my most important thing for me is really building all of those partnerships with other organizations, other businesses, individuals in St. John, and seeing how we can all help each other to continue to grow and make St. John
that much better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So with Prude and the SJMRC, which is the St. John Multicultural Association, the SJMRC, I've seen a lot of transferable opportunities with people. So you, like what we just mentioned about working close-knit and close together,
Yeah,
there's often crossovers of
Yeah.
groups of people, right?
definitely.
So I'd love to see that join and grow,
Yeah.
as well. Is there other Prude groups in other areas?
No.
Or just, is it just sort of a St. John?
St. John, yeah. Yep.
Okay. And best communication would be what, Facebook? To follow what's going on?
Yeah, so follow what's going on Facebook, definitely. We have our Facebook page, and also to check our website. We've got our events calendar on our website as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the tickets for the Diversity Challenge?
Yes.
How do you go about purchasing those?
So you can check that out on our website. We've got the page up for
Okay.
the Diversity Champion Awards. Tickets are $75, or you can book a entire table if you'd like.
Oh, how much is the entire table?
$600.
600. Well, that's really good
Yeah,
though. That's
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
for a really good cause.
Yes.
So I
yes,
can totally see
definitely.
people buying like
yeah,
full tables.
absolutely. And another thing you can do to get involved with the Diversity Champion Awards is we're also having a silent auction. So we do have forms for the silent auction, and nomination forms actually for the Champion Awards as well are up on the website, or you can get the forms from us by contacting us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Katrina, it's been a pleasure to have you
Yes.
here. I'm so pleased that you're with Prude. I think you're going to do great things with them.
Thank you. It was so nice to see you, Heather.
Thank you. And please stay tuned. I will have my fourth guest for this evening. DJ Steve will be up, and he'll be turning some records.
For whom do you vote?
McCullough!
Laissez-nous passer! Nous avons le droit de voter!
Lousy rebel! Governor Sydenham said your lot ain't got no rights to nut.
Oui, pour les pauvres, ça va. Faut passer. Non, non. Pas de violence!
Tu vas perdre donc! Tout ça n'est qu'une moquerie! Une moquerie, je te dis!
C'est de Robert Baldwin. Il veut que je me présente dans un comté d'Ontario.
Welcome to Toronto.
Monsieur Baldwin, alors c'est bien vrai, vous m'offrez un de vos comtés ici à Toronto.
Mr. Lafontaine, think of the history we'll make when a French-Canadian runs and wins in York.
And they did make history. Together, Robert Baldwin and Louis Hippolyte Lafontaine would forge the basis of responsible government in Canada.
Hey, it's Chris and Chris from New Brunswick's favorite sports show here, Across the Line, where we talk about everything from local sports across the province, whether it's hockey, baseball, or basketball. Where can we find it, Chris?
Hey, as always, your favorite network, Rogers TV.
It's getting so cold.
You have become close to Abigail. She is a viper.
I'm getting super evil vibes.
I don't get it.
I'm trapped in a romantic comedy.
5,000 baptized. I think somebody turned on the wave.
Did you know, since 1985, Crime Stoppers has helped solve close to 8,000 crimes in New Brunswick? Crime Stoppers, 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477 or www.crimenb.ca.
Thank you so much for tuning in to What Matters Most. I'm now with my fourth guest for this evening, and his name is DJ Steve. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How do you get the name DJ Steve?
Well, so I'm a DJ.
Okay.
Apparently, that's now what happened was when I first started DJing, my son wanted to name me. But the problem was I'm getting a little older, and I thought maybe I might forget the name, so I figured I'd just use my own name.
Right.
And that way I could never forget what it was. Yeah.
You're the DJ Steve.
I'm DJ Steve.
Awesome.
And then it's easier so people know who I am, and
Yes.
it makes it easier for people to find me.
So how long have you been a DJ?
I've been DJing since 2011. That's when I got married, and basically I wanted a fun party. I wanted. Basically, it's I'm older, and I just wanted everybody to have a great time and dance, and so basically I was planning the wedding, and my wife was in charge of everything pretty, and I was in charge of all the other stuff.
Cool.
And so when I hired a DJ, she said, you should be a DJ, and
just like that.
And I said. No, but eventually I wore down and I became DJ Steve.
Isn't that something? So it was the effectiveness of your excitement and passion has turned you into working every day, doing what you love.
Doing what I love. So I do about 50 weddings a year myself.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. And basically I just put the same effort that I put into my wedding to my clients, and just because it should be perfect. Everybody should have a perfect day, and so there's no less than 100%.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what are we here to talk about today?
So today we're here to talk about the Inspired Wedding Experience trade show, wedding show here in St. John on September 29th at the Trading Convention Center.
Yes.
And so this is put on by Cottage by the Bay Weddings and Events. And last year was the first year for the show. And Beth from Cottage Bay called me up and says, I'd like to do a show. And I said, that sounds like an awesome idea. How can I do to help? She said, well, I need vendors and I need to know who the best are. And I said, well, I know who the best are. And so basically I called all the people I normally would work with and said, look, we're doing a trade show. Let's just do this. So it went off. It was 100% the best trade show I've probably been to. So this year, again, I'm a major sponsor. DJ Steve is a major sponsor.
Okay.
And Cottage by the Bay Wedding Events. And so we're doing it again, but we're doing it different, a little bit different this year.
Can you tell me what it is?
Or
you're letting a secret out?
No, I don't think it should be a secret. I think everybody should know.
Okay.
It's not like a trade show. Basically, it's an experience. And I was talking to a couple the other day, and I gave him tickets to the show, and he says, does the guys go to this? And I said, yes. I said, yes.
Just when they will.
Yes. I said, seriously. I said, what a better way to spend a date day than to give your fiance tickets to the wedding show, maybe a rose. You go there and you share this 4-hour experience with them. And, you get brownie points for sure, 100%, So it's basically it's an experience as opposed to a show. And so basically we're starting off with this master class on wedding planning. You're going to learn how to make your day perfect. We're going to take you to a tour of decor. We've got music. We've got signature cocktails. We've got a mixologist there. We've got a wedding planner from New York coming down, Kimberly Fraser from The Perfect Dress and Kimberly and Events. She's going to put on this master class where you're basically going to learn the whole day how to plan your wedding. You can basically do everything in one day.
Is that right?
Yeah. So it's it starts off with the master class at 12 o'clock. So we're going to come in. We've got this beautiful book.
Oh, yeah.
Made
that's me
by
on the yes.
put
Yes.
together by Cottage by the Bay.
That's lovely.
And it's got budgets, it's got timelines, it's got tricks, it's got all kinds of stuff in here.
I like the timeline, the planning timeline. That's really smart. A lot of people don't know when to do things, right?
Well,
so
well,
this is great.
The funny thing about people that are getting married is that they don't normally
Get married?
they don't normally know how to plan a wedding. You know, you get married, you get engaged and say, what do I do next?
Yeah.
What do I do next? Well, coming the 29th, we're going to tell you what to do next.
Exactly. Exactly. So DJ
Yeah.
Steve, how many people can you hold at the Trade Convention Center for this event?
Oh, geez.
Do you know? Like,
Well, I think we're around 200 right now, and we're keep on growing because people are going to be coming around and stuff like that. It's not sit down,
Okay.
so basically people are moving around all over the place.
Sure.
So for the first 50 guests for the wedding planning session,
Okay.
we're giving 50. We've got 50 of those.
Okay.
Okay. So that's
Nice.
so basically you need to book. Reserve, get your tickets right now, and book the experiences that you want. There's a whole bunch of different other experiences there too, as well. Do you want to hear some?
Yes, please.
Okay, awesome. We got a blind cake testing. So basically, you and your fiance
Yeah.
are going to be blindfolded, and you're going to test cakes and see how well you kind of mash.
Oh, I get it. So you're like, oh, I like this, and they're like, oh, I don't like this.
Exactly.
Oh,
And-
blind taste test.
Yeah, but the great thing about it is once you do that, we're going to reward you. So you're going to get a raffle ticket for a free honeymoon cruise.
Wow.
So grab your significant other, go get your taste testing, and put your name in for the cruise. It'll be phenomenal.
So before we get too far into this awesomeness, how much are the tickets?
Okay, so they're $15 at the door.
Okay.
Now, if you register today,
Yes.
we're going to save 50%.
Okay.
So you can go to stjohnbridalshow.ca and get your tickets there, 50% coupon. You can also, I'll put a link on my page as well, djsteve.ca, and you'll be able to get your 50% off on your tickets as well. So $7
Okay.
today, $15 at the door.
Awesome. I wish that I'd known this a little while ago because my daughter just got married this past Saturday.
Oh, wow.
So-
I can't believe you didn't call me to be a DJ.
No, if I'd known, you would have been my DJ for sure. Hands down. You're awesome. So I'm sure you're going to get a lot of excited people
Right.
coming in and
Yeah.
because this is very choreographed, it seems.
Yes.
Like everything goes from as
Right.
if you're going to wedding day school.
It's basically, it kind of is. Because, when you're planning a wedding, you don't know what's next. You don't know what to do here, what to do there.
You don't know what you're forgetting. Because you don't know.
So it starts off at 12 o'clock with a master class.
Yes.
The doors actually open at 1. So if you're there for the master class, register for the master class training session, you get there, you get more knowledge than everybody else.
Right.
So you get like a leg up kind of thing.
Right.
So
That's very smart.
Yeah, and then we've got a decor tour. So we've got Wendy from Spur Your Imagination. Now Wendy actually did the decor for my wedding.
Yes, well, Wendy's been around a long time.
She's been a long.
I know
and
Wendy.
You know Wendy, and she's phenomenal. I mean, like my wife said, I want 14-foot centerpieces on my table, and Wendy said,
she's got them.
You got 14-foot. I mean, we're looking up there, and you get the table, and it's phenomenal. She's like hands down the best, and she's going to take you through a tour. She's going to tell you what's new, what's trending. Basically, try to get how to make your day amazing,
Awesome.
because it's amazing to see when your wife comes through the door. And her jaw drops and a tear drops shows because they've seen the decor. You want that moment, and Wendy's going to teach you, help you get that moment.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. So what about spirits? Will you have anybody there?
Oh, yeah. So I've been DJing a long time, and I see bartenders, I go talk to the bartenders. Because basically, when it comes down to a wedding, the bride and groom remember all the intimate moments, the vows and all that other stuff. Everybody else remembers the party.
Yes.
Everybody else remembers the party. So the DJ and the bartender, are your go-to people when it comes to the party.
Especially if it's a free bar.
What's that?
Especially if it's an open bar.
Especially if it's open bar, yeah.
Yeah.
So We've got absolute bartending there. Cody, he is hands down the best bartender I've seen.
Does he put on a show?
He puts on a show. He's he talks to everybody. He gets to know the people. He usually remembers the drinks. Like I can walk up to him right now, and I know at the end of the night he'll pour me a glass of Sprite before I go home and pass it to me. And just like it's he remembers that stuff. So he's going to basically put on, give you some signature cocktails, talk about what's new, what's trending, what your guests will like. And the great part of it is then you can go to the Hilton bar, which is going to have the Hilton's going to be serving liquor there. So
Yes.
it really is a date night. You get to walk around, you get to see stuff, you get to have drinks and stuff like that, taste food, and you can taste those signature cocktails.
Wow. So if I go online and get my ticket I get 50% off because I'm early.
Right.
So it's around what? 15, which is $7.50?
$7.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I get all this experience?
All this experience. And
Do you have to be?
We got more.
Do I have to be engaged? Because I just want to show up.
No, you just come in. Just tell me you're the DJ. You'll be fine.
I'm with Steve. Okay.
So then we have Third Degree there for bridal boot camp, and so basically you visit them. They're going to go some fun stuff and talk about that. And then of course I'm going to be there and providing music and giving away stuff. And
yeah. So will you have light shows as well?
You know what? I don't normally have a big light show.
No. Okay.
It's subtle. It's what I mean. When you have a wedding, you want your DJ to blend with your decor.
Yes.
So I try to keep it subtle and keep it simple. And
That's really nice.
Yeah.
That's a good thought, because I would think sometimes you think the opposite. You want all the lights and everything, but then it can be overwhelming.
No, you
So,
don't. It's all about the music and the personality.
Very good point. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, what's the best way to follow you guys?
You go to stjohnbridalshow.ca.
Yeah.
And you can click the link to Facebook. You can also go to djsteve.ca, www.djsteve.ca, and you can follow me from there. I've got links to the page as well, so you can find me there, and if you're interested.
Awesome. Wow, you're good. Well, I hope to be there.
Okay,
what
awesome.
Was the date again? September 29th?
September 29th.
Awesome.
1 o'clock.
Okay, thank you, Steve. And thank you to the audience that's watching from home. And I thanked my guest. Thanks to DJ Steve. And of course, all of my other guests that we had on this evening, the volunteers here at Rogers Studio, and of course, you at home. So please tune in another 2 weeks to see the next show. And thank you so much. Stay safe, be kind to each other, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
When you become a Rogers volunteer, it's always an opportunity for everybody to come together and try different things that they've never been able to do before.
What I've learned here is different skills that I thought I would never even be interested in learning.
By being here at Rogers, I can learn all these different things that will help me be stronger.
Working here as a volunteer is a good way to get to know your community. It's a good way to learn how to work as a part of a team.
They're people from our community, so they know and they have a heart for our community to step outside of our comfort zone and do more.
Don't be afraid, because this is where you're going to gain the most valuable experience that you can use in your future.
I encourage everybody to be a volunteer at Rogers TV, because not only do you grow professionally, you grow personally as well.
This is Rogers TV, New Brunswick.
Hey, did you know?
More than 4,500 Canadians are waiting for an organ transplant right now.
Right now. 4,500.
People are dying.
And you could save a life. 90% of Canadians say they're willing to donate their organs.
But only a few are registered.
So what are you waiting for? Get registered.
It's easy and it's free.
Leave a legacy. Be a